Hi, I'm Doug Dingwall, journalist at The Advocate. Welcome to my place in Latrobe. I've got the day off today and the Devonport Show is this Friday, so I thought, why not enter the man cake competition? I'm going to bake a moist chocolate cake today, so follow me inside and I'll show you what to do. So I've never baked a cake before, although I've been cooking for several years, so this is a learning experience for me. Now, I'm going to use the ingredients on the back of this simple Bourneville cocoa chocolate box. We'll see how it turns out. So first of all, what I need is 1 cup of water in a saucepan. Easy enough. What I'll do then is I'll combine that with some bicarbonate soda, some cocoa and some sugar. So I need about 1 1/4 cups of sugar, caster sugar. Next the cocoa, which is probably the messiest bit here. Need about, bear with me here, 1/2 cup. Lovely. Now, I'm not sure what bicarbonate soda is or what it does, but apparently I need it. So I'll just grab a bit of this, maybe about 1/2 teaspoon. Should be okay. And all I need now is a bit of butter. But before I get rid of all this butter in this saucepan, I'm going to use it to grease the base of the cake pan itself. So I think that's to make it easier to lift the cake out of the oven at the end. That is really greasy and buttery. And what I might do just to make it easier is just divide the butter into smaller amounts. And that'll just make it easier to melt in the saucepan, and that's going to form the base of the cake. That goes in the oven. It all kind of reacts with each other and turns into a cake somehow. I don't know how. So this part is all about combining the sugar with the rest of the ingredients. You don't really want to boil it straight away. You want to let it warm for a while until the sugar dissolves. And then once that happens, you let it boil for about 10 seconds or so. And then after that, you let it simmer for a little while. You're meant to cool it for about 1/2 an hour afterwards, but if you're a bit short on time like me, you might want to take a shortcut on that one. So now I'm going to pour the chocolate ingredients into this bowl, which is going to go under the blender in a few minutes. There it goes. Alright, that's great. I'm going to combine this with some self-raising flour and 2 eggs, and then I'm going to put it under the blender and see what happens. So 2 eggs. You're meant to whisk them first, I think, but again, shortcuts. And I'll just pop a bit of flour. And we're ready. I'll start off on a low setting first, just to let the flour combine with the chocolate and the eggs. I might let a little bit more air into the chocolate just by upping the ante a little bit. And see how fast it can go. Okay. Probably doesn't need to be that fast. Lovely. That's probably fine. So this is one of my favorite bits, pouring it into the base. That looks really good. And because I don't really like to waste any of this stuff, I might just scrape a little bit more. Okay, so oven time. You're meant to put it on about 180 degrees, probably about 160 degrees for a fan force oven. This oven is really hot, and I burnt some cookies beyond being eatable the other day, so I'm going to set it to about 140. That should do. And Just let it sit. You're supposed to let it sit for about 40 minutes or so, but I would probably leave a little bit less time. And guess what? Voila, here's one I made earlier. So this one worked out quite well. I checked it every sort of 10 minutes or so, and what I used is a skewer just through the top, and when the skewer came out, if there was no sort of chocolate sauce on it, it meant that the cake was ready. So now all I have to do is ice it, and then it's ready to go in the show. So I prepared some icing sugar to top up the cake. All I needed was a bit of icing sugar mixed with a bit of cocoa, and then I mixed it with a bit of butter. And again, I used the KitchenAid blender over here. So it looks nice and thick. I had to taste test it a couple of times just to make sure it wasn't too kind of bitter, because cocoa naturally has that kind of bitter flavour. So I'll just top it up with a little bit of icing here. Start off with not too much, and then just spread it like you would peanut butter on a sandwich. I think that works well enough. Let's put it in the fridge and let's see how it goes at the show.